so much, Marcus Crespo, for all that you do, and of course, Chris Quay, and all the staff members, Flora, Ernesto, for all your hard work. Thank you so much.
Ni hao, good evening, buenas noches. It's a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. I want to thank the Asian Americans for Equality organization for this tremendous award. I want to just share this with you. For a young man who was born in Puerto Rico, how many of you have been to Puerto Rico? A lot of you, yeah. We all want to be there right about now with this cold weather. But it's warm in here because this is a great pet family and a great community. I just want to thank you for this opportunity to be here, for receiving this amazing award. We will continue to fight for the issues that are important to all communities, including the Asian American community. Issues like the DREAM Act, issues like healthcare, affordable housing, job creation, small business support. And I gotta tell you, there was one young man who helped me when I first got elected, who taught me what it's like to be a true public servant and to champion the issues that are important, and he happens to represent you, and he was the man who named me to be the chairman of the task force on New Americans. So I want to shout out and thank my good friend, Speaker Silver. Thank you so much for your leadership. We will always thank you, recognize the work you've done and your legacy. And I gotta tell you, there's a young man who's making Asian Americans proud every single day. And now that I am the chairman, I'm no longer chairman of the task force on New Americans. I now chair the Puerto Rican and Hispanic Task Force, or Somos El Futuro Conference. So there's a vacancy in the New Americans Task Force. And I don't know about you, but there is an Asian American in the legislature making all of us proud. My good friend, Assemblyman Ron Kim. And I'm going to tell the new speaker that you, sir, will make a great chairman for that committee. I hope you get it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Let's keep up the fight. Let's keep up the dream of equality. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Okay, that was a tough act to follow. And now, the presentation for the other awards. But before that, let me say each year, AAFE honors individuals and organizations who have made extraordinary and exceptional contributions in the struggle for equality. Working towards the dream of equality is no small task. It requires ideals, vision, commitment, hard work, and an unshakable determination to succeed. It requires a desire to make changes actually, a willingness to accept defeat, and the daring to find creative solutions. In their own special ways, our honorees are living examples of these qualities. We honor them because they are people and organizations who work in communities, who care about others, and who live for their ideals. Now, for presenting the next award, I don't even need to introduce her, and everybody knows her well. Please welcome Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer.
Thank you very much. I am honored to be here tonight to celebrate AAFE. I have never missed an AAFE dinner in my life. So it is an honor to be here tonight and to see the growth under Chris's leadership, my two friends, Suki Ports and Jackie Huey as board members. I love them to death. I learn from them. I do whatever they tell me. And I also want to thank Hallie Chu from our office, former staff member, brilliant, fabulous woman. And I also want to say thank AAFE for thinking about how to do quality housing, quality development, quality economic development. What an organization that we can all be proud of. So tonight, I have the honor of bestowing AAFE's special New Year honor on one of its greatest allies, Bob Aniblad, Global Director at City Microfinance and Community Development. Congratulations, please come up, Bob. Bob leads City's global commercial relationships with microfinance and community institutions, helping to expand access to financial services, particularly innovative platform for scaling. He supports community development, neighborhood revitalization, and all things that AAFE cares about. as a champion of immigrant entrepreneurs. Bob reminds us that although immigrants constitute 16% of our U.S. labor force, they accounted for almost half of the overall growth of business ownership in the past decade. He has worked with AAFE to expand innovative programs in New York City and to remove barriers for Asian immigrant entrepreneurs. What people praise most about Bob is the fact that he was doing this kind of work before microfinance was in our vocabulary. And part of the reason that microfinance is in our vocabulary is Bob's many fruitful partnerships with CBOs over the years. So, without further delay, please welcome AAFE's honoree, Bob Annabelle. Thank you so very much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, AAFE. Dong Hee Fa Chai. Happy New Year to all here tonight. Some of us were very fortunate to be at AAFE's festival not long ago where we saw a film about the origins of AAFE. And I think some of the founders of AAFE are still here. They're here tonight, and they're featured in this film. And I think the work of AAFE and this family was so important to the rights and civil rights of Asian Americans, and they continue to be. Our work with AAFE has been in many ways, with entrepreneurship, in disaster relief, and in housing. So with those of us at City, we'd just like to thank AAFE for honoring us, allowing us to be such partners, and for all the work you do, not only for your community, but for so many others, particularly for the rights of immigrants in the city of New York, and for the prosperity of entrepreneurs. So thank you very much on behalf of myself and Citibank. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, 大家新年好. I'm so happy to be here for AAFE's annual Lunar New Year celebration for their 31st anniversary. 今日好高興嚟到呢度同大家參加亞洲人平等會41週年嘅春節聯歡晚會。喺呢度祝大家羊年行好運，身體健康，萬事如意。So I want to wish everyone a prosperous, healthy year of the ram, and congratulations to AAFE for all their great work and more success in their journey to their 5th decade. So I have the honor to present the next Dream of Equality Award to Mr. Kwon Kim. Yes, you can applaud Mr. Kim. Come on out, Mr. Kim. I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Kwon S. Kim, whose outstanding service to our city makes him one of tonight's Dream of Equality honoree. Mr. Kim has truly distinguished himself as the president of the Korean Community Services of Metropolitan New York. He first joined KCS in 1988 as the executive director, and since then he has been a strong leader in improving the quality of life for Korean Americans. Mr. Kim has been the driving force behind the continued growth of KCS by initiating critical programs like senior centers in Flushing and Corona, like job training programs, English classes, Meals on Wheels for homebound seniors. Through his outstanding efforts, Mr. Kim has further strengthened his organization by building many partnerships with other agencies, both public and private. Aside from his work at KCS, Mr. Kim remains a strong advocate for all Asian Americans by working hard to promote the interests of our community throughout New York City. In addition, he currently serves on the board of the Elmhurst Hospital and the Queens Interagency Council on Aging. University, and ever since then, he has truly made great contributions in New York City. Now it's my pleasure to present the Dream of Equality Award to Mr. Kwon S. Kim. Ms. Kim, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Chris Koi, Councilmember Margaret Chin, and all the board members and staff of AAFE for this wonderful honor. AAFE has done such amazing work in the community for the past 41 years around the housing, advocacy, development, and so much more. We are so happy to have partnered with AAFE on projects such as community leader assessment, partners in progress, and budget advocacy work. We respect and admire all what you have done and look forward to continuing and strengthening our partnership so that we can improve the lives of our community members across New York City. Thank you again for this honor. KCS will continue to work hard for our community also. Thanks again.
It's my great honor now to bring up a somewhat surprise guest for us tonight, but a stranger to no one here, a Lonsman from my old neighborhood in Brooklyn. I'd like to bring up the man who represents us all, Senator Chuck Schumer, a champion and a friend to all of us in this room, all communities, all immigrants.
女士们、先生们，请我们欢迎。
After 41 years in politics, I know how to quiet a room. Anyway, it is great to be here. I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to congratulate our awardees, Robert Annabali and my good friend Assemblyman Crespo, Tis James, and Kwon Kim from the Korean Community Services. And let me thank AAFE for 41 years of helping New Yorkers in need of help, low-income, immigrants, small business. I want to say two things. First, I have told my friends in the city we're federal that I support adding the Chinese Lunar New Year to the list of recognized holidays for New York schools, because the Asian community is a great community. Second, I, as you know, am the leader of trying to bring immigration reform to America and to New York. And if our bill passes, it will be very good for Asian Americans and Chinese Americans. And I was given an award by one of our Asian American societies. And they said, why do you want to have so many more Asian people and people from China come to New York and come to America? And I said, it's because I love America. And the more immigrants there are in America, the more Chinese there are in America, and the more Asians there are in America, the better America is. So let me wish you a happy new year, Gong Hei Fa Choi, and many, many more years of success to AAFE. Thank you and have a great evening.
We are thrilled to be introducing our public advocate for the city of New York, the teacher Tis James. Tish was sworn in as the public advocate in January 2014 and became the first woman of color to hold a citywide position in the city's history. She has been a fierce advocate for underserved communities, fighting for affordable housing, women's rights, job development, environmental issues, and healthcare access. Prior to becoming public advocate, Tish served on the New York City Council representing Central Brooklyn. One of her most significant legislative accomplishments was the passage of the Safe Housing Act, a groundbreaking bill that ensures thousands of families in rental buildings receive prompt repairs to their apartments. With a $15 million investment in housing code reform, this was a major victory for all New Yorkers living in substandard buildings.
A lifelong Brooklyn resident, Tish is a graduate of CUNY's Lehman College and Howard University Law School. Before being elected into office, she worked in the New York State Legislature and was a public defender. Tish is the ultimate advocate and coalition builder. For example, Tish was one of the first elected officials to come out in support of Private Danny Chen. We saw her at every press conference, every protest, and every rally. We are so proud to have New York City's first woman elected to a citywide position and the first woman of color as our public advocate. Please join us in welcoming this, our social justice champion, the Honorable Tish James.
Did it work? Okay, thank you. I wanted to make sure the Chuck Schumer worked for everybody. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much to Suki and to Reeling and to AAFE for this incredible award. I'm truly humbled to be named this year's Dream of Equality honoree. And I would also, of course, like to thank Chris Cooey, the leader of this incredible organization. I'm so excited to not only be accepting this award, but to be here and celebrate the Lunar New Year and the 41st anniversary of AAFE with you tonight. This is the most important holiday for Asian Americans in New York City, and tonight we are all one and the same as we celebrate Lunar New Year together. Last month I marched in the Chinatown Lunar New Year Parade in support of the Asian community. And last week I hosted a Lunar New Year celebration, which I hope many of you had the chance to attend. And as the public advocate of the city of New York, I'm so glad that Governor Cuomo signed legislation to allow the New York City Board of Education to permit closing public schools for Lunar New Year. And as the public advocate, I commended the state legislature for moving forward, and will also urge the mayor of the city of New York and the chancellor to honor that and to close the holiday and to recognize the contributions of Asian Americans and recognize the importance of the Lunar New Year for our community. We cannot penalize our children and families for celebrating this holiday, and they should not be in a position of choosing between education and their culture. I also want to take a minute tonight to talk about affordable housing, which I know is of great importance to all of you and everyone in this room. And it's an issue that has been a keystone, has been a part of my campaign and part of my politics for all of the years that I've served in public office. And I want to thank this great organization for protecting affordable housing in the city and for recognizing that there is a crisis in affordable housing in the city. And in the past 41 years, you have preserved and developed almost 90 buildings, creating over 800 units of housing, and you have secured almost $300 million in mortgage financing for home buyers. And so I join all of you tonight in celebrating this great organization. A round of applause to this great, wonderful organization. Let's look forward to working with the mayor of the city of New York to build more housing for everyone. Thank you.
After three, we say AAFE, okay? 1, 2, 3, AAFE!